This was question number 4 in the 2024 exam paper in the subject Marketing Metrics as examined by the Zambia Institute of Marketing. To be specific, the exam held in October of 2024. Students were expected to A. Calculate the gross profit margin and net profit margin for a marketing campaign. B. Students were expected to discuss the significance of gross profit margin and net profit margin. The information relating to these calculations that were expected was given that there is a company. This company was called what? ABC Corporation. ABC Corporation wants to evaluate the profitability of its recent marketing campaign for a new product launch. The company has collected the following data for the campaign. There's the total sales revenue generated, which was 100,000 kwacha. The cost of goods sold, which was 40,000 kwacha. And marketing expense, 20,000 kwacha. And other operating expenses were capped or put at 10,000 kwacha. The requirement once more, A, was for students to calculate the gross profit margin and also to calculate the net profit margin. And that's what I'm going to show you in this video. To calculate the gross profit margin, we first need to calculate the gross profit. So let's proceed. Gross profit. Gross profit. And gross profit is easy. We basically look at how much money we made from our sales. Sales revenue. Sales revenue in this case we're given is 100,000. That's our sales revenue. 100,000. From this 100,000, we subtract. What is it that we subtract? We subtract the cost of goods sold, which is 40,000. The cost of goods sold, which is 40,000. What this gives us is what is referred to as the gross profit. In this particular case, this is going to be 60,000. 40,000 from 100,000 is 60,000. It is 60,000. So this is our gross profit. This is our gross profit. Some students may have been tempted to leave it at this particular point. That is incorrect. It is incomplete. This is just a calculation of the gross profit. This is just a calculation of the gross profit. A student needed to take a step further to then calculate the gross profit margin. The gross profit margin. And to calculate the gross profit margin, you get the actual gross profit, which is 60,000. Get the actual gross profit, which is 60,000. And this is going to be divided by the sales revenue. Divided by the sales revenue. And remember, the sales revenue was 100,000. The sales revenue was 100,000. Okay? Then we multiply what we get by 100. We multiply what we get by 100, and what does that give us? It's going to give us 60%. It is going to give us 60%. This 60%, dear friends, this 60% was the gross profit margin, and this is the correct answer. 60% being the gross profit margin, not ending it at 60,000 kwacha, no, but at 60%, and this was the correct answer. The second part of the question required students to calculate the net profit margin. To calculate the net profit margin. And as we did with the gross profit margin, we first need to calculate the net profit. We need to calculate the net profit. When calculating the gross profit margin, we first calculated the gross profit. Then we calculated the gross profit margin. It is the same thing. When calculating the net profit margin, we first need to calculate the net profit. Then we'll find the net profit margin. Remember, this is like your statement of profit or loss. It is like your statement of profit or loss. If we start from gross profit, of which we calculated our gross profit being 60,000 kwacha. 60,000 kwacha. Then we subtract our expenses. From the gross profit, we subtract expenses, and we've been told that there's a marketing expense of 20,000. So we are going to less, okay, we're going to less marketing expense. How much? 20,000. We're going to less 20,000. What else? We also have other expenses, other operating expenses, okay, other operating expenses, and these are of how much? Worth 10,000 kwacha. 10,000 kwacha. Okay, what we get from here, what we get when we subtract these two from this is going to be our net profit. It's going to be our net profit. Okay, so what do we get when we subtract these from this? What is it that we get? When we subtract these from this, what is it that we get? We get our calculator. It's 60,000. Subtract 20,000. Subtract 10,000. And this gives us 30,000. It gives us 30,000. So 30,000 kwacha. 30,000 kwacha is our net profit. 30,000 kwacha is our net profit. Again, the temptation of a student may be to want to end at this particular point. No, this is incomplete. What a student needs to do further beyond this particular point is to get this particular net profit. Get this particular net profit, divide it, okay? Get this particular net profit, divided by the sales revenue. Divided by the sales revenue, which was 100,000 kwacha. 100,000 kwacha. Multiplied by 100. Why? Because margins are a percentage. Margins are a percentage. So when we divide 30,000 over 100,000 and we multiply that by 100, what does it give us? It's going to give us 30%. And this 30% is going to be the net profit margin. The net profit margin. Okay, net profit margin. What's the answer? 30%. This is what a student needed to have done to get 10% as being a calculation of the gross profit margin and the calculation of the net profit margin. The second part of the question required students to discuss the significance of gross profit margin. What does gross profit margin actually entail? And also, what does net profit margin entail? This we shall discuss in class, and I invite you to join my classes. My name is Savoy. I invite you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Captain 3737. Captain 37. I invite you to also like and follow my Facebook page, Marketing Study in Zambia. And should you be in need of tutorial services, you are welcome to contact me. Goodbye.